Let's see if y'all can hear me now. Yeah, I can see the volume thing moving. I just didn't have my microphone hooked up because the last time I streamed, I was out in the kitchen, so I had the other microphone plugged in. So I had that one in my settings on OBS. So I just had to put it back in this one. So yay! I wasn't muted though. I wasn't. So I know you obviously didn't hear what I was saying, but I was saying it's been a minute since I streamed. I know. I've just been so busy with work and sleeping and just doing shit outside, getting things ready for summer or whatever. And I've been fighting a green pool for the past week. But that's my fault because I didn't tell someone you have to continue to put chlorine in it after you shock it. That's my fuck up, I guess. So yeah, it's blue now, but still cloudy. But it's getting there. Yay, now you can hear me. Okay, yep. Oh boy. So, who do we have here? Hey, Todd. Hey, Emmy Lou. Hey, Grouchy Mama Bear. Hi, Aaron. Mm-hmm. Hi, Ruth Carol. Hey, Grisella. How is everyone? I hope you guys are all well. So, I couldn't help but to notice some posts that Katie Joy put up on her Instagram. I couldn't help but to laugh at them, too. Which, I don't know why I didn't think to fucking get them ready to show. But I can do... Actually, I'll just go over to Twitter. I'm sure Ballz has them. So, we will be using Twitter tonight, okay? We'll be using Twitter for two accounts, mostly. Originally, it was going to be pretty much just for Llama Girl. But, now it's going to be for Ballz too. So I just want to put a shout out to these accounts, and I'll put a link to Ballz' account in my description shortly. But there's a constant shout out to Llama Girl in my description. So, but I want to put a shout out to them, and I want to say thank you for all that they do, for all that they capture and then preserve and display for all of us to see that might have missed it. So it's a thankless and tireless job, I think, but they do it well, and I'm most appreciative. So if you find yourself being appreciative also, perhaps consider buying them a coffee or something. It's up to you. I'm just throwing that out there. No one's asked me to do it. I'm not a sponsor for anyone. It's just how I feel. So, yeah. But that being said, let me get over here and... Alright, so I'm over on Ball's account. And we'll be sharing the screen shortly. Let me just get to where I want to be. Oh, you got permanently banned from this subreddit? That sucks, Ballz. Fuck them. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down to a day or two ago. Oh, wow. Ballz has been busy preserving the subreddits. Nice. When was it released? Oh, here we go. Okay. Alright, so let me start sharing. So just so anyone who's unaware or whatever can just be caught up a little bit to why this is being discussed right now, today. Yeah, my messages. Okay, there we go. Oh, wrong one. No, wait, no, that's the right one. What am I doing? Oh, damn you, Ballz. You beat me to it by 3 days. I don't care. I'm still streaming it. So, Katie is not supposed to be talking about Todd Chrisley. Sis simply can't help herself. Love this for her. I'm going to have to try and read. I can't see tonight at all. Okay. I have seen the news that Trump intends to pardon Todd and Julie Chrisley. Because I have no say in what Trump does and I can't control the outcome, I'm not going to comment other than to say this is a decision by the president that I do not agree with in any capacity, and I'm sure the U.S. attorneys and victims of the Chrisleys would agree with me. Todd and Julie Chrisley were indicted in 2019 under the Department of Justice led by Donald Trump's his administration. Led by Donald Trump. His administration charged the Chrisleys. Their trial was in 2022 under the Biden administration, but it was Trump's DOJ that brought the charges to begin with. Okay. Oops, shoot, I just exited that out, didn't I? Damn it. Why did I do that? Okay, there we go. And I just want to say, since we're doing shout outs and flashbacks here or whatever, it's a nice feeling to know that I can just display my history like that in a drop down menu and not worry about what's going to come up. Unlike one account from years prior that, well, he didn't put up his history. He was typing in the search bar, I think, something like that. I'm not throwing him shade. It's just funny. I still find it funny. I don't care. So, Katie Joy was sued by Todd Chrisley, and she ended up settling her lawsuits and handing over whatever source or whatever it was. And though I have not seen any settlement agreement between the two of them, it is stated and believed that there was some sort of settlement agreement other than her handing over her sources or lack thereof. Not sure which. But also that she had to enter into an agreement, they both did, to not speak negatively or speak poorly of one another for I don't know how long, for X amount of time, whatever. Well, not long after this agreement, not long after the settlement rather, Todd Chrisley and his wife were convicted. So I think Katie's just felt like, well, they're going to jail for like at least a decade. Like, I can get shit to worry about. They're not going to remember what I said now, like 10 years from now, you know? So, yeah. I think they might be changing now. But, so yeah. Oh, wait, I want to see.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to pull that up. This one right here. Finally, while I appreciate many of you reaching out about their pardon, asking me, a victim of Todd Chrisley's malicious attacks and smear campaign, to further report on this situation or answer questions is pretty insensitive. That man accused me of child abuse and recommended people report me to authorities. He intimidated and threatened me for 3 years. His release gives me great anxiety and causes me fear for my safety. Wow, okay. So, she settled, and while he was in prison, after he was sentenced, and I think even beforehand, probably, she just felt more and more comfortable running her mouth, especially, like, as of late, or as of, I'd say, like, over the past year, maybe the past 6 months, she's had no filter. Well, now they're out. So, and I don't know. I've seen people post about how now, because they were pardoned, they don't have to pay back like X amount, like $10 million or some shit like that. I don't know if that's true or not. Whatever. I don't care. But, yeah. And I have to say that I think a lot of people in this community, had it not been for Katie and Todd having any kind of like relationship, you know, hateful or otherwise, I don't think anyone here would really be happy. I think the most majority of us really would feel indifferent maybe about their pardon, about their release, but I don't think that really anyone here would have been happy about it. But because of Katie, we are. And I don't care. I'll be the first one to admit that bias. Fine. You know what? I'm guilty as charged. I don't give a shit. But, you know, you can't blame me. You can't fucking blame me. You just can't. So, yep. So that's where we kind of landed with her talking about Todd. And she's been reminding people, again, how she didn't lose the lawsuit. She didn't lose. You know, they settled, so she won. Mm-hmm. But what is it that he sued her over to begin with for anyway? Well, from my understanding, there's been two main things. Well, really one main thing. But we're going to go over a few things anyways, because why not? So the first one I have is where she comments on Todd's sexuality. The person who just pretty much cuts anyone off who dares to question anyone's sexuality, whether it be from the Duggars or the Brown family or whatever, and rightfully so, don't get me wrong, was the first person just a few years ago to sit there and say that Todd Chrisley is 100% gay. So, yeah.
So,
you hear that?
Todd Chrisley is 100% gay.
That's about all she says of him in that video. But I just want to make sure. Let me go back to chat here real quick. Can you all hear that? The video? I didn't even look to see if it was playing through the audio capture. She even felt confident saying he wouldn't do anything. Yep. You can hear? Okay, cool. Thank you. I just want to make sure before I go on. That's all. All right, awesome. So that's about all she says there in that one. But there was really one main reason why he was suing her, and it's because she did a video where she claimed that a former crew member or whatever of the show Chrisley Knows Best reached out to Katie to tell Katie that Lindsay is 100% right with everything she said on the Dr. Phil show. I guess she said some shit on the Dr. Phil show, which we'll go over that too. But I think she goes over maybe both of it in her video about the crew members. So we'll check that out first. Is it for? Yep, there we go. Is that one? X that one out. Okay. So it's like 20 minutes long. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, but.
It's been an amazing day. I'm sure you maybe missed me. I don't know. I can't expect that you wait on bated breath for me. But during that time, I had the opportunity to
what is this? She makes bated breath sound gross. I don't know.
Have somebody anonymously from the Chrisley Knows Best crew actually reach out to me and let me know that they watched Lindsay Chrisley's interview on Dr. Phil and they said, I believe her. I'm not even lying. So what happened? Lindsay Chrisley was on Dr. Phil yesterday, an hour-long interview, which was aired through syndication. And Phil spoke with Lindsay about her
We're gonna speed this up a little bit.
take on what happened in between her and her father and a altercation that occurred between her and her stepmother Julie, which ultimately led to her leaving the show, and also an altercation or an incident between her and her father this past summer in July, where he approached her and told her about nude photos and a video that her brother Chase had obtained for $5,000, and that she needed to be careful about what she said or things wouldn't end well, with the implication that the PR team might leak a story with containing those nude photos, or that she was having an affair with the rogue investigator from Georgia Department of Revenue.
Now, before we go any further, I just want to just throw this out there. I really don't have any idea what the hell what went on between Todd and his daughter, Lindsay. I don't really give a shit either, especially since whatever it is that went on, the two of them seem to have put the past behind them and made up. So I don't really care to speculate on it. I don't even care to know. It's, it's their shit, man. Whatever. I just want to throw that out there. I mean, y'all can do whatever you want, but that's where I'm standing on it.
Now, without a crystal ball, was finally able to obtain a copy of the lawsuit that the Chrisleys filed in the Northern District of Georgia federal court related to the allegations of the alleged improprieties by Mr. Joshua Waits in reference to the investigation of their taxes and his communications with Lindsay. And
if I'm not mistaken, though, I do believe that the Chrisleys won that lawsuit or something. They won at least part of it.
Also have the tea about the former crew member. So I was able to, before we get started, I was able to independently verify that this person did work on the crew. I will not be saying their name, their position, but I do know for certainty that they were there and they did experience things. So here is some of the details that I've learned. So they basically reached out to me right after my stream yesterday where I broke down what happened with Lindsay on Dr. Phil. They mentioned that they actually had watched the Dr. Phil episode themselves. And immediately they said, I believe her. And I said, why do you believe her? And we started talking about their time working with the Chrisleys. And during that, they said things that were really very kind actually towards the Chrisleys. That Julie is a super nice woman, that she loves to make mason jar salads, that she is very warm and treats the crew amazing, and that Savannah, when they were there, was very innocent and young and new, that Chase and his dad had a very close relationship, that Lindsay was only there for filming, and that Kyle was rarely around. So I asked them, why do you believe Lindsay? And they said, Lindsay was the kind of person that was extremely shy and only showed up for filming and was rarely around when the cameras were not on. According to this crew member, they said the Chrisleys frankly never really spoke about Lindsay when she wasn't around to them, as well as when Lindsay was there, that the energy in the house would sort of shift. Because they said that Julie and Todd were very close with Savannah, Chloe, and Chase, but that when Lindsay would come in, there would be sort of an awkwardness. Not like they were rude, just more uncomfortable. Like things would get quieter, or the rest of them are very boisterous and outgoing, and Lindsay's actually very shy and quiet, and she never seemed to want any sort of attention, never seemed to want to be on camera, and everyone else in the family was kind of like begging and arguing to get the more airtime, right? But they said Lindsay was more like in the background, sort of doing her own thing, keeping to herself, didn't seem as connected or engaged to the family, and because of that, they know that she was not the kind of person that would ever seek the press out. They basically said that Lindsay was the kind of person that didn't seem to even want to be on the show, didn't seem interested at all in the fame, and seemed to be on a completely different level in terms of what she wanted compared to what the family wanted.
I mean, like I said, I'm not commenting on anything that went on between the two of them. I don't really care. But I do think that she was someone who really didn't mind being on the show. I mean, she's had a podcast, too, for how long? She's clearly someone who seeks out this kind of way in which to generate income, and she seems content to do it. So I don't know if I just believe all that. That's all. I'm sure she's a very private person, but at times she's not, I think. I don't know.
Wanted. They weren't surprised when Lindsay ended up leaving the show either, because again, they said she just didn't seem interested in the fame or the money. So when they found out that she was speaking to the press, they said they were extremely shocked, because Lindsay wasn't the kind of person to seek out press. She actually seemed too shy away from press, didn't want to be a part of the spotlight, and so they knew if she were going to go forward and say something, that it would be because it's her truth. They also said that Julie and Lindsay had a really good relationship from what they could tell, and that they actually when they watched the interview, believed that, they said, yeah, Julie is really nice almost all the time. And so they were extremely surprised to hear about the altercation that occurred between Lindsay and Julie. They also said that Todd is kind of flamboyant and busy and loud and plays pranks and also has a lot of control on the show. And because of that, he has the ability to sort of dictate storylines and kind of decide where things are going. And as they become more famous and they get more money, sometimes that can change people. Now, without going into too many specifics, I will say that this person really had nothing poor to say about anyone, but more so that they really believed that Lindsay was telling the truth, specifically because she's just not the type of person to seek out any sort of attention, and they completely think it's outrageous that the family would accuse her of doing this for 5 minutes of fame, because it's completely against the Lindsay that they know. Which is interesting, right? She isn't Lindsay really isn't in the media. I mean, up until this, she has a Coffee Convos podcast that she does where she's not even on camera, and she does it from home, where she works from home. And she does do some traveling for some of the recordings, but for the most part, she can just do it from home. So she left on her own will in 2017. She also said that the relationship that she witnessed between them was very much on the surface and on the camera. So there wasn't much of a relationship between Lindsay and them when the cameras weren't filming. So things were very different when Lindsay was off camera, and when she was on camera, they were supposed to be like this happy family. But when they weren't filming, Lindsay was not integrated at all with the family. So they said what you see on TV isn't always the same. They kind of said the same thing with Kyle, that, the energy would shift very dramatically when Kyle would come to the house, and that they seemed more interested and concerned in Kyle's daughter, Chloe, than they actually seemed in Kyle. Not to say that they didn't love Kyle, but that they had a very close unit bond, Todd, Savannah, Chase, and Julie. And the other kids were sort of from the outside looking in, which is comparable to some of the things that...
Because they're... I don't know. I have no doubt that the other kids felt like that. I don't. I mean, I think that it's going to be to some degree unavoidable, no, even in the best of situations, you know. And they were also older too, weren't they? Like adults, and the other two were still teenagers. So it's a different kind of relationship that you even have with your parents between those two points in times in your life, you know.
That Lindsay has shared on in her interview with Dr. Drew, that, or not Dr. Drew, Dr. Phil, that things weren't as what they seemed. That the relationship she had with them had been very tenuous leading up to the filming. That she only did the filming because her father asked her to. That she never wanted to be a part of the show. That she would have preferred not to be a part of the show. And also sort of confirms to me that Lindsay was telling the truth. Now, Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley have been really silent on any of this. They did file a lawsuit in federal court alleging that a unscrupulous investigator attempted to infiltrate Lindsay, and they say that Lindsay was having an affair with him when that proved to be not correct. Then they shifted the focus to him using tactics that were inappropriate. Now, I was able to actually download the full complaint, and I'm telling, it's hard for me, based on what's in the complaint itself, to really see what they're talking about. They say in the complaint that this...
I'm not going to play this thing. I don't really care to hear about like why they were suing Georgia or state of Georgia or whatever. I want to get to where she's talking more. I think, was it down here? Yep, here we go. Okay. Nope. Okay.
About what the last few weeks have been like for her and everything that has transpired leading up to and after.
So I guess this is she's reporting on how Lindsay Chrisley talked to her.
What happened? I am ready to get started on Lindsay Chrisley's. She got raw, you guys. She got really, really raw. And
she got raw, you guys. She got the Egyptian sun god, you guys. That's what it sounds like.
And,
raw.
if anything that I've learned about this woman in the last few weeks is that she is not a liar. And she is also not a drama-ster unless she needs to defend herself. And in the most recent episode, she and Kale Lowry actually talked about how everything went down. And
Mom.
It's actually kind of telling. Lindsay sounds really exhausted. Usually on the podcast, she's pretty upbeat and cheerful. And in this week's episode, she just seemed kind of down. And can you really blame her? She's had a really tough few weeks. It all started, obviously, when her father and mother were her parents were indicted on 12 counts of tax evasion and bank fraud, wire fraud, lying to the federal government. And shortly, actually within days of their indictment, suddenly a police report mysteriously turns up from TMZ. It almost seems like it's kismet, right? So here's what she talks about. And I'll get in there because this podcast literally had me thinking so many things. And I don't want to give away all the details, but there were some really telling aspects. And one of the things that she talked about was that...
Sorry, I was just looking at chat here, and Dia says, no bias, they could have killed or raped someone and got less time. I don't care for anyone involved, but their sentences were extreme because they, defrauded a bank. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. That was one of my first thoughts, I think, was like, but it's kind of a victimless crime, really. Like, who are the victims? The people who own the banks? I mean, I'm not saying that they deserve it or anything. Well, maybe they do, but whatever. That's not my main focal point when I say that. Like, I don't know. They can suffer the loss without suffering. You know what I mean? So, like, really, it was like a victimless crime, I feel like.
sort of the hardest thing was right off the gate, like right after the indictment went through, people started lobbying allegations at her. She had not said a word. She said actually nothing. And actually, since she had left her Chrisley Knows Best, she hadn't really said a whole lot about her family. She hadn't caused any drama so much with her family. But within days of her parents' arrest, suddenly her biological, and this is how she referred to him, as her biological brother Kyle, is on Facebook basically accusing her and her mother of working with investigators to turn in her father for tax evasion. And she said that was the first of what sort of became a cascading event of things that got lobbied at her way. And it's interesting when you think about this. It's almost like deflection started immediately with Kyle planting that she was the one that turned in her dad. And she said that she's not going to take responsibility for what she didn't do. She said she'll own up to anything that she's done, but she's not going to take the fall for crap she didn't have any part of. She went on to say that, and I think I've alluded to this, I'm not sure, maybe I knew this already. So many things I know that I can't tell you guys. Was that for years leading up to Chrisley Knows Best, she had absolutely no relationship with her parents. She was estranged from them while she was in college. And then when she came back to the show, she briefly reunited with them for about 3 years.
I heard that they were estranged or whatever because Todd was, like, I guess, paying for her apartment and all this shit and everything, you know, for her to have the life she was having. And she let a boyfriend move in. And Todd was like, no, I'm not going to foot the bill so you and this dude can just hang out, like, living in sin, more or less, you know, was his take on it, I guess, allegedly, from what I hear. Which is kind of old school, whatever. But bottom line is, it's his money. He can decide that if he wants. He can make that decision. He has every right. You know, and if you want to keep receiving the money, then you need to, you know, do it in a way that he wants to keep giving you the money, you know. I don't know if any of that's true or not, whatever.
Years to join the reality show, and then she disconnected again from them in 2017. So in the entire time this indictment covers, she was like barely involved in the life of her parents. And she knew nothing about any of the business dealings. She had no part of any of these companies that he owned. So she says it's almost preposterous for anyone to assume that she would have known anything to turn in anyone about anything. And as quickly as all of that happens...
Oh, wait, why do I have this in high speed? I'm sorry.
TMZ suddenly gets a hold of a police report. And she says they call her attorney's office and say, we found a police report in Georgia. Do you have a comment? Now, she doesn't say anything more than that, but this got me thinking. How does TMZ know to look for a police report in Georgia for under Lindsay Chrisley's name? How would they know that she even filed a police report? It's almost like someone from the Chrisley camp, either a PR representative or Todd Chrisley, made contact with the outlet and shopped it and told them about the police report because...
Well, who was the police report
in the police report, her dad is listed, she's listed, and Chase is listed. The police would have had to make contact with only the people involved in the police report, so therefore, only the people in the police report would know that the police report existed, and Lindsay didn't leak the story to TMZ. So you guys figure out how TMZ figured it out. Somebody from the Chrisley camp obviously tipped TMZ off, i.e. Chase or Todd. And mysteriously, another thing I thought about after she said this was that, wow, isn't it ironic that as soon as they leak the story, they also have a statement from Todd Chrisley immediately disclosing that his daughter had extramarital affairs with Robbie Hayes and Josh Murray? Isn't that interesting? And the first TMZ story actually said that we've heard that it involves members of the Bachelor franchise. I.e., minutes later, Todd Chrisley says, we are saddened and have been covering up these affairs of Robbie Hayes and Josh Murray that my daughter had in 2016. It's almost like Todd Chrisley contacted TMZ, told him about the police report, told him about who was involved, because the police report doesn't contain any of the other parties that are in it. So how else would TMZ have found out about the Bachelor people?
Wait a minute, so... how else? How would the police report have these two Bachelor franchise men or whatever names in it if there wasn't a reason for their name to have been listed in it? Like, if there was no relationship or whatever between either one of them and Lindsay, then why would their names be added to the police report, and why would this essentially be verified by this video right here? I mean, like, you're just proving this right.
Isn't that sick? The lengths this father went to, it's unconscionable. He's in the middle of an indictment, and his first inkling is not, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to defend myself? It's, I got to smear my daughter. I got to take the attention off of me, and I'm going to go bore my daughter's jugular, and I'm going to make everyone know that she had an affair, and there's a cape about her.
See, that kills me right there. That freaking kills me. I don't know. I don't think for 1 second that that's what Todd did. Even if Todd did tip off TMZ or whatever, which I don't think he did, or at least I think it's quite plausible he did not do it anyways. She's just not bothering to look at any other options. But even if he did, just for argument's sake, let's say he did. Yeah, I don't think it would have been to smear his daughter or any shit like that. It's, I don't know. I don't see it.
Imagine being a daughter, and that is how your father reacts to their arrest. If that is not narcissism, I don't know what is.
Well, you would know.
So, if you think about it like this, a lot of people were giving Lindsay crap, saying that she brought this into the media. She didn't bring this into the media. Todd or Chase brought it to TMZ. Lindsay was fine not saying anything, hadn't said a damn word about anything. She only had to speak up when people started bringing her up. So, imagine being Lindsay and having to deal with this fallout. She's still married to the man that she was separated from and going through a divorce with at the time. They have now reconciled. But imagine having to dig up the extramarital affairs that you, or not even, they weren't affairs because they were separated at the time, but having to go and relive stuff that happened years ago with your spouse. And then imagine having a little boy that's in the middle of this too, that has a mom's dirty laundry now, is all over the news, and she has to protect him from hearing things about her that her father threw to the media. And this is the same man that claims to be a good Christian and espouses all these, amazing, heartfelt, like, oh, you guys, I'm so inspirational crap on Instagram and on Twitter. And this is what he's doing to his daughter. It's gross.
Why does she take such an issue with that? Like, I don't know if it's true. I don't really read much of his Instagram or Twitter, but let's say Todd is all about, like, how spiritual and great he is or whatever. Why does she care so much? Why does she care that he's, like, touting himself as spiritual and doing it successfully? Why does that bother her?
Now, that's my thoughts. Lindsay didn't say anything. This was my deductive reasoning. But it's interesting that she would put that in there because I think enough people would put it together. But because I love you guys, I'm putting the puzzle pieces together for you. So, really what she said more than anything was that she was kind of on the receiving end of a SHIT storm. She said that she had to deal with all kinds of stuff coming at her from her mom, or from Savannah, from Chase, from her dad. She found Chase posts pictures on Twitter, and he crops her out and says that this is the only family that I have. When people ask about his sister, he says, I only have one sister. He shares a photo of just him, Chase, Savannah, and their parents, and said, this is my family. Like, it was very clear how the family was responding. Like, they were going to place all the blame on Lindsay, regardless of whether or not it was true. Lindsay also addressed when her brother was in the hospital, and she said that she made an insensitive statement that it was that she felt that they posted that photo for sympathy, and she said she reacted maybe a little bit more poorly than she should have, but she said she didn't take back the fact that she still believes that her dad placed that photo of Kyle to earn and gain sympathy from his followers.
I don't know what photo she's talking
about.
Oh my God, so loud. Stop it. Stop that.
She also went on to talk about some of the nastier comments that she's been receiving, and that even though she's receiving a lot of support, there are a lot of people that think they know her and are making a lot of accusations about her, and they're calling her all kinds of names now because of the information that her father put out to the media about her.
Okay, so we're gonna.
And she's said those are the comments that are the hardest to take.
Just to
and
get a little
that
bit of
for the last
context.
couple weeks, she feels like her life has been completely wrecked and totally ruined, and it's trying to sort through the mess and realize that
we're gonna get off of this one, and we're going to play a little bit from this next video, and then we're going to get into some more modern, recent shit. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. So this is from 2019, October 17th. And I want you to pay attention to the date here. Okay, 2017. Or 2019, rather. Okay? So, and I'm going to be playing some clips from 2021 shortly. And it's just amazing just how she's still carrying on about it 2 years later. And why? It didn't even involve her. Like, it's crazy. But boy, she made sure that it involved the fuck out of her in 2 years from now.
She could have stayed on the show, but instead she walked away from it. So there was nothing advantageous for her or cloudy or to get 5 more minutes by...
There's one where she actually shows some of the interview. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's not. Oh, shoot. I might have not pulled it up this time because I had to restart my computer. Not for sure. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to skip over that then. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what Lindsay did tell Dr. Drew. I just thought it would be kind of cool to hear. But now we're going to jump to where she and Lindsay have their falling out 2 years from approximately the time of the videos we were just watching. In October of 2021. And boy, was it a fallout. So here we're going to go over to Llama Girl's channel. So I found out what date this live stream was. It's an Instagram live stream. I thought I had the video, but apparently I don't. So I found out what date it was, and I went over to advanced search there on Twitter and typed in Llama Girl's user handle and just typed in to see everything she posted on this date. Because otherwise I can't get all of the clips to come up. And we're going to skip a few of them. Like, I don't care to watch the one about Eugenia Cooney or whatever. Some of these don't have much of a description, but that's okay because she gives a description when it comes to Todd later in a little bit. Done in previous clip. Okay, trigger warning. Yeah, we're gonna skip over that. Now look at that. She's talking about her son. Go figure. Well, that's when she goes after Sloan. That's right. I forgot about that. Talking Brittany and... Oh my God. Could you imagine if Brittany ever took Katie's advice? That would be hilarious. Well, it wouldn't be hilarious, but it would be. Okay, here we go. Come on.
Okay, so my last thing I want to say before I go to bed, because I'm so tired and I'm feeling really like bloated and I'm just feeling like I'm having an ugly day today. Ugh. My hair wasn't curling. I was fighting with my hair today. I've been like fighting with like just drama in my life right now that I don't talk about publicly. But I just want to say something. If you're under federal indictment, okay? I'm not going to say who this is about. I'm not going to say what it's about. I'm just going to say this, okay? If you're under federal indictment and you're about to go to trial and you could get locked up for decades, it's probably not smart to threaten or intimidate people that you believe are victims or witnesses of your case, whether directly or indirectly. I know that you know that I know things, and you're scared of those things that I know. But I don't lie, and I have nothing to hide. I also know that I was on the phone this week with the FBI, and they know everything that's happening. So all of this stuff that's happening, the FBI and the prosecutors know about. And we're actually meeting with them.
Okay, so one clip.
If you want to keep playing this game, that's fine. I'm not under federal indictment. I'm not under investigation, and I'm also not
Seriously, could you imagine just being a fucking YouTube blogger? Okay, yeah, any which way you put it, she's a YouTube blogger. She can call herself an independent journalist now, till she's blue in the fucking face. She's just gonna be a fucking Smurf who's not a fucking journalist, you know? But seriously, can you imagine being a YouTube vlogger and putting out threats like this and shit to someone who's, I mean, I don't know if I call him A-list, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's too far from that. Like, everyone knows him. And most people rather are kind of fond of him. So, can you imagine having the fucking, I don't want to say balls, because I don't think it's balls. I think it's just the lack of common sense, really. Can you imagine just having those lack of facilities and doing this? Oh my God, like the cringe factor is off the charts.
The one under an order to leave someone alone. Okay? And you're not going to bully my friend, and you're not going to harass her, and you're not going to intimidate me, and you're not going to come after me and say that I'm hurting you when I know that you're hurting my friend, who's your victim. And I love my friend to pieces. And I will never, ever, ever let you hurt her. And just because you're mad at her doesn't mean you get to come for me. And if you come for me, I'm going to the FBI, and I already have gone to the FBI. And if you believe this,
if you believe I've gone to the FBI, you're a fucking idiot.
I'm not going to let you hurt her.
Yeah. Nice save there, Katie, really.
What are you doing?
I never respond, but I'm so tired of it. You're not going to hurt her. She deserves peace. She deserves so much peace. She's the victim. And if you come for me because you know I'm her friend, you're coming for her. And you know when you're coming for her, you're trying to intimidate her through me. And you know that she's protected.
Like, she's crazy. She's legit fucking crazy.
The victim. Which is why the FBI knows everything. Which is why I was on the phone with them yesterday. Which is why my attorney is meeting with them next week. Which is why every single threat that you've sent is being given to the prosecutors next week. You thought you could fuck with me? I don't think so. You don't get to be under a federal indictment with a very strict bond bail condition that says you cannot threaten or intimidate a witness or a victim.
That's funny, because right around this time when she did this live, I did my own video. Like, I think it was an entitlement translator video, in reacting to much of what she said here in this stream. And one of the things I did was I obtained his bail agreement, and I pulled it up. And nowhere on that bail agreement did it say that he couldn't harass anyone through third parties or even through direct party. It just said that he had to agree to show up basically for sentencing and to show up to serve his sentence. Those were like the conditions. So I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
directly or indirectly, and you know that I am that person's close friend, and you are intimidating and threatening me to get to that person. I never speak about this, and I'm not going to speak about it again.
What was hilarious is not long after this, Lindsay took to Instagram and pretty much was like, yo, I don't know what this crazy chick's fucking problem is, but we ain't friends like that. We weren't friends like that. I don't know why she thinks we're friends like that. So.
Leave her alone. All she wants to do is be left alone. And she wants you prosecuted. That's it.
It's not it, though. It's not it.
May 16th. You said that person was worth $5,000. That she was worth $5,000 to her friend.
So
you're correct.
By what she just said there, is that to insinuate that there was in fact a tape? I don't know. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't care if there was or not. God bless her if there was. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Third party harassment of a victim or a witness is not allowed, and the FBI is involved now.
Yep. Katie, that's kind of her MO. She likes to get the FBI involved. She likes to really try to actually get them involved. And I just can't believe that they're not fucking sick of her shit by now. Like, I have transcripts of an entire interview between her and two FBI agents less than a year ago, as she was trying to frame Vanna for a bunch of shit. You know, it's crazy.
I've got the agent's name and email, and he's so nice.
I think she even says his name is Steve. I don't know.
I would hate to have new charges added, but that's probably what's going to happen.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, this person has not stopped talking about me for 6 months and has the audacity to say that I'm harassing them.
See, and this is what they drove me nuts too, when she said that new charges. He was being charged by the federal government. So the only victim in this case would be the federal government. So any new charges that came about would have to be on behalf of the federal government, not on behalf of Katie Joy. So what is she? It's crazy.
One day,
You'll not be an idiot?
one day, when all of this is over, I will tell you guys everything. I promise.
That's such a bullshit thing to say. When all what is said and done and over with. She wasn't involved in any of the shit she's talking about. This was a court case between Todd and the federal government. I'm not even sure how much involvement his own daughter had in it, but she wants to say, when this is all said and done. Bitch, it's been all said. It hasn't even started being said for you, let alone waiting to have it be said and done. It's never been said for you.
I will not tell you what anyone has told me. I will not violate my friend's trust. I will not violate her.
Oh, but just wait.
Our relationship. She means so much to me. I
just want to point out here how while during these live streams, right at this point in time in history, that's exactly what Katie Joy was doing, was sharing her DMs with Lindsay, with another content creator. I can't quite remember who it was, though. I'll know it when I hear it or see it, whatever. But yeah. And they ended up getting out. So go figure.
Love her to pieces. She is such a good person. I adore her. And I will never let anything happen to her. But if you guys think she's a beautiful human being, you're right. She is gorgeous. Inside and out. Everything about her. She's got a heart of gold. She's smart. She's a Republican. And I'm a Democrat, and we still are friends. She's a Christian. And I'm an atheist. She's proof positive that you do not have to be the same identical of anyone and still be friends and still have the same thought and still have the same connection.
But if you're not the same exact same as Katie Joy there, then just go ahead and unfollow her.
As the victim, intelligent, she's a rules follower. She's literally the most ethical person I've ever met in my entire life. She is like the kind of person that if you give her a task, she is following everything and she's dotting all of her I's and she's crossing all of her T's and she does not break rules ever. She's literally the most straight person I've ever met. And she's got a humongous heart and she's an amazing mother. She does everything for her kid.
Yeah.
She's been through hell this last year. Nobody deserves what she's gone through.
That's fucking crazy. Holy shit.
Nobody.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat here, and Queen Donnie says, I don't believe she likes her. She hates conservatives. She told me to put a lead, I don't know, pointy shaped thing into her head. Through her head, rather. That might be a little bit extreme, I think. You know? I mean, she really does like to be right, I guess. The Decker cousin is Amy, yep. Yeah, right. I want to say, too, it was not long after this. Like, probably like 6 months or so, or just a few months after her fallout with Lindsay here. She had her fallout there with Amy Duggar. And Amy Duggar was just like, yo, I never said any of these things. What are you talking about, you crazy person?
Not going to be silenced to stand up for my friend and say that I care about her and she doesn't deserve it. There's not a class action that's going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be dismissed. We don't even, you do realize we don't even take that seriously. We don't take any of that seriously because it's all garbage. It's all like this.
I forgot all about that. At this time, Todd Chrisley was talking about Katie, like, on his podcast and shit, because he was pissed. All this shit that she was, spewing about him. So Todd Chrisley spoke of getting together a class action defamation lawsuit against Katie Joy from, like, all these people in the Katie community here. Obviously, it's not something that really is going to go anywhere, but it sure was funny, though, to watch her squirm about it.
Don't lie. I've never lied about this situation. Everything that I have said about this situation, there are affidavits, there are eyewitness statements. I mean, flat out, this person wants to sue me over an active investigation that's happening with the FBI. To the extent that I have 3 reality stars that will write affidavits for me. They will go on record for me. They will literally provide all the evidence to me. I've got multiple attorneys. I have eyewitnesses of what happened that will all go on record to say that this is what happened.
Yeah.
We have a couple cats, and one of our cats is 10, and one of our cats is 3, and the 3-year-old fucks with the 10-year-old cat all the time, and the 10-year-old cat gets so annoyed.
I wonder why her kids.
There's nothing for me to lie about because I have all of the facts to back it up. Not only that, but like Dr. Phil put this all on the air. So wouldn't you go after the main source, Dr. Phil? No, the cats are fine. They were just fighting.
Just had to be separated.
They just had to be separated. Rodan gets really upset sometimes.
We should keep looking at.
If you support people that are good people,
Oh God, here we go.
and you go up against narcissists that are vindictive and abusive and rude and liars, they like to create like their flying monkeys, and they like to like go after people. And the thing that I've learned is that like he cannot get to her, and so he wants to ruin everything that's connected to her. And he only cares about me because he can't get to her, and he thinks that I have information that could ruin him, and he's worried about that. And he's worried about, in my opinion, that he can't get to her, that he can't talk to her because he's not allowed to talk to her, from my understanding. So because he can't get to her, he needs to get to her through her friends, and I'm not going to put up with that.
Pretty sure there's a much easier and probably legally more sound way to third party get in touch with his daughter than this avenue. Because this just seems kind of stupid. I don't know.
He's also done this. He's tried to do this to Kaylin Lowry. And he won't fuck with Kaylin because her platform is bigger. But my platform is small. And so he likes to go after me because I'm like the low-hanging fruit.
That's true. Boy, I gotta agree with her on that one. Oh, I haven't been reading the descriptions. KJ says she talked to the FBI yesterday. She says they know about the class action lawsuit. They know everything. Seems KJ is shit scared and went running to the FBI saying she's being threatened by Todd Chrisley. She is, as Todd says, a fucking trash rag.
Like,
Okay,
I will be...
Oops, sorry.
I mean, he could go after Kaylin all day. She has said some shit. And I know you guys don't like Kaylin, and I know you guys think she's bullshit, but Kaylin is such a good friend to her.
Oh, no, I
don't
she's
even
not.
love
I can
Kaylin
speed her up.
sometimes, but Kaylin is a good friend to her. And, like, I will be
Forgetting.
anyone that's a good friend to her, I'm down with. He's trying to fuck with her new podcast host, Katie, who's like literally all she does is wear clothes and is cute. Of course he's afraid of her.
No, leave that alone. Come on. It's me, baby.
But there's no reason to be afraid of someone if you're doing good things. Like if you're if you're on the up and up and you're not fucking being shady. Anyways. There's a lot of shit that happens in my life. Lindsay's allowed to have friends. Lindsay's allowed to have a life. Lindsay's allowed to have a divorce without people commenting on it. Lindsay's allowed to go through her life without everyone like being told that what she's doing is a lie or going on Entertainment Tonight and lying about her. Like legitimately, she has receipts for everything. There's no lies that are happening here. The FBI still has an open case. I literally talked to the FBI yesterday, so I know the agent that's looking at this, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to be threatened anymore.
Who the fuck?
And they literally know that you're trying to get a class action lawsuit against me, and that's also part of the threats. They literally know that that's what you're doing. They know what you're saying on your podcasts. They know everything.
Oh, wait.
Like, literally, the FBI knows everything.
Says, KJ says, I talked to Steven. Oh, she does name him as Steven. Oh, that's okay. I talked to Steven yesterday. He's a really nice guy. He's a great FBI agent. Steven knows what you're up to and doesn't like it. She carries on with, in my opinion, her intimidation. She says, I had Lindsay's lawyer. I got Robbie Hayes. I got Josh Murray. They agree.
And I'm not lying.
And I'm not lying.
We're meeting with them next. I talked to Steven yesterday. He's a really nice guy. Steven's a great FBI agent. Steven knows what you're up to, and Steven doesn't like it. Steven said the prosecutor needs to find out about what you're doing. Steven said that the prosecutor is probably going to be interested in what you're doing because it might be a violation of your bail.
It wasn't, though.
Steven was also concerned, allegedly, maybe about you filing a lawsuit because that could be considered a threat, intimidation through indirect to a witness. But what I know.
Did she really think that he was going to be afraid after she said this shit? Like, nah, man, that ain't you.
I've been silent for so long. I'm just so tired of this. And I have all the proof to back this up. I'm not worried about making false statements. I have the emails. I have a lawyer. I have all of it. I got Lindsay's lawyer.
Fuck you too. She knows her finger.
I got Robbie Hayes. I got Josh Murray. They all agree with me. And they've all agreed to cooperate. So
this one says, he doesn't care about me. I'm not the one that started this. I'm not the one who put this out. End quote, quote. The FBI is involved because he's under federal indictment. He's facing 30 years in prison. His daughter is a witness.
I'm just so sick of you bullying her. People think that he's coming after me. He's not coming after me.
I agree.
Do you realize that? Like, all of you guys are cheering him on. Do you realize you're cheering him on to 10 more years in prison if he breaks his bail conditions for doing this? If you're cheering him on for this behavior, you're cheering him on because he's potentially tampering with a witness and a victim, and that's an additional charge that they can prosecute on him. And he's not coming after me. He doesn't care about me.
Hi, Animal Lover.
I'm not the one that started this. I'm not the one that put this out. Actually, TMZ broke the story. Dr. Phil put it out. Every other agent, like People, Entertainment Tonight, E! News, Radar Online, Us Magazine, In Touch, every outlet has talked about this. NBC, ABC, CBS, y'all, every outlet has talked about this. I'm not being weak. How am I being weak right now? The FBI is involved because he's under federal indictment and he's facing 30 years in prison. And his trial starts on May 16th. And he's facing 30 years in prison. 30. And he believes that his daughter is a witness.
Why? Are you guys not seeing what... Am I sharing the wrong thing? Have I been sharing the wrong thing this whole fucking time? That's gonna be annoying. It looks like I have been. Oops, my bad. Wait, how do I do this? Window capture? Yep. That makes more sense. Okay. Why is Google not showing up on this though? I don't get it. No, that's not gonna work. Alright, we'll do this. Show cursor, hide cursor. Why is that coming up? So this whole time has it not been? It has not showed at all the Google thing. It's a good thing I don't really do much on my computer. All right, let's try this. Will it show now? Oh, now it's showing. Okay. All right. It must be just when I go into maybe full screen or something. I don't know. But now I got it working. That's good.
And he believes that his daughter is a witness. He's said it repeatedly. He's coming after me. Indirectly because I'm friends with her. He has said on his podcast, I am her best friend. So he's trying to get to her through me. Because he can't talk to her.
No way. Did Todd just laugh there?
On his podcast, I am her best friend.
I want to turn this up a little bit.
So he's trying to get to her through me. Because he can't talk to her.
That's funny.
It is not dropped. No, she's sleeping, you guys. She had a really rough day.
So here the chat was asking her to bring on Lindsay because, you know, they wanted to hear this shit from Lindsay pretty much. In fact, here, what's the description say? Someone asks her to get Lindsay on the live, and she says she's sleeping. She's had a really rough day today. She's accusing Todd of threatening her. She clearly thinks Lindsay is her BFF. She says he's in court on May 16th. Katie is so drunk.
Lindsay's not going to say anything publicly. Like, she's just not. She's sleeping. She had a really tough day today.
Well, she also doesn't have to when you're doing it for her.
When you're out on bond and you have conditions that flat out say that you cannot intimidate people that are victims or witnesses indirectly or directly, and then you go after a friend, that's actually called indirect harassment. People that are cheering him on for going after me, what you're doing is cheering him on for going after her. He doesn't care about me. Okay. He wants her. He wants to hurt her.
Hi, Tiffany.
His
Thank you.
trial starts on May 16th. It was not dropped. He tried to get some evidence dropped. It didn't happen. They have not dropped any of the charges. He's still facing, I think, 9 or 10 count.
This one says, KJ lists all the changes. She thinks she is so clever. She said when asked regarding bringing Lindsay on, making up reasons why not. No, I'm not bringing her on. Someone asks a question and she says, go read the fucking documents. So bloody rude. Yeah, I think there's only like 2 more clips after this.
And then there's an active investigation into the other stuff with her. I'm not going to do a live with her. No.
Uh-huh.
I don't talk about anything about her that's not...
Because you're the reason why it's not going to happen. Sure, fam. Sure.
Not public. And I'm not bringing her on for content. Tonight I'm angry and I'm frustrated and I'm just speaking my mind.
Hey, buddy.
He has federal charges. He has a 10-count federal indictment. I think it's like 5 counts for bank fraud, wire fraud. There's like 4 or 5 banks in the indictment that he allegedly stole money from. Defrauding the United States of America, obstruction of justice, tax evasion. It's like millions of dollars, too, that they're alleging that they stole. It's ridiculous.
No, get out of there. No.
But no, they didn't get off on this. No, Lindsay did not report him to anything. You guys can see in all of the indictment, Lindsay's name is not in there one time. Not once. Go read the documents. Go read the fucking court documents. Her name...
And this one says... KJ says, can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question? Drunk ass bitch. She suddenly notices all the gunk in her eyes. Says, whoa. She did not turn him in. Like... Todd Chrisley says KJ looks like trash. The trash rag. Jesus. Oh, God, Llama, you kill me.
Go read the fucking court documents. Her name is not mentioned. And who, like...
Oh, my God, thank you so much, Jill B. Thanks for doing these lives.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? If someone's doing illegal shit and someone turns them in... Who's the one to blame? It's not the person that turns them in. It's the person doing illegal shit.
No, I gotta disagree with that. Okay, maybe in some cases, okay, fine. But not everything that gets tattled on should be a crime. Like, think about how many people, like, lived down the street and got tattled on because they're growing a few pot plants. Was that right? No, the people who should have been probably, looked at least, given a stern talking to or something, should have been the people putting their nose in the business where it didn't belong and trying to throw their neighbor under the bus. I mean, I've told all my kids this, but I remember I first said it to my oldest son, that when it comes to snitching, okay, if there's somebody who's being harmed, okay, there's someone being abused or something like that, then it's not snitching. You're saving someone, okay? So yeah, you open up your fucking mouth then. But if the guy down the street didn't claim a car sale or something for taxes or some shit like that, you keep your fucking mouth shut. That's what you do. So, yeah.
Pay your taxes, no one would know. I'm so sick of people saying that snitches are the reason people get in trouble. No, the reason people get in trouble is because people break the law.
Well, if you want to get technical about it, the reason why people get in trouble is because there are laws to begin with. Not saying there shouldn't be. I'm just saying that. Whatever.
If you break the law, you don't have to worry about. If you don't break the law, you don't have to worry about people snitching on you.
Oh, that's bullshit.
How about we stop saying snitches get stitches and we just stop being ethical? The person doing
Spoken like a true Karen. Had a girl.
the illegal shit is the person that's responsible, and everything else is just a scapegoat.
The devil made me do it.
I hope she keeps that sentiment when, or if.
All right, I gotta go.
If the sender of certain emails were to actually be known and it turned out to actually be her, like many of us think it is. I hope she keeps that, I don't know, that same attitude.
I'm not being rude to my fans, Emily.
Emily.
I'm being passionate. I'm being angry. I'm being frustrated.
Being a bitch.
Oh, my eyes are... Whoa. She did not turn him in. She did not turn him in.
All right, I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. Okay.
Read the indictment.
Read the indictment. She goes on to say, it has nothing to do with her. KJ munches on the gunk that, oh my God, it came out of her. What? No, please tell me that did not happen. Please let that be an exaggeration. She then gets rude after being asked a question and says, Susie, go online. Google it. I don't have time to explain. Then cuts the line. Yeah.
Read the indictment. The indictment, do you realize they found out half of the stuff from his own bankruptcy case? The federal government in their indictment outlines how they found out about it and had nothing to do with her. They had an active bankruptcy case and they audited the bankruptcy case and they found a lot of shit. When you don't pay your taxes to the federal government, guess what? They find out.
Not always, right? Right?
Susie, go online, Google it. I don't have time to explain.
She doesn't even say goodbye. Now that is kind of rude. It really is. I'm just gonna throw that out there. All right, so yeah, there's more to this. Obviously, like I'm not playing everything right now. We can go through it another time. I don't even have all the videos pulled up either. But like Todd Chrisley did kind of talk some shit about her in his podcast there. Confessions or whatever it was called. Rightfully so, in my opinion, but whatever. And she clapped back, I guess. I don't know. But it was that live, though, that we were just playing there off of Twitter that really just stood out for me. Like, it took me a minute to find that, too. But I knew exactly the one I wanted. And, yeah. That's pretty funny. Now, I gotta look. I think I do have somewhere the screenshots of shit that Lindsay posted in response. That'll be the next live stream. So, alright. I'm gonna go back on over here to OBS. And there we go. Okay. I can... Oh, hi, Flying Memblora. Member for 36 months. I cannot believe it has been over 3 years. Yeah, right? Oh, my God. Holy shit. Thank you so much for all your support. That's awesome. Hi, Mrs. Cassandra. I can never remember who I said hi to, so I'm just going to keep repeating names probably. Hi, Mr. Black Wolf. Yeah, Flying Mom Laura, there was Todd and the kiddo in the background. Although I think it might have been Todd and the cat. I think that the kiddo might have been in bed. I don't know. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything else here. I don't think I did. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay. The guy looking into him and getting close to Lindsay lied about his education, wasn't supposed to look into what he did. It was a really weird circumstance and how it all started. Yeah, that was my takeaway from it too, because I believe that Todd actually won the lawsuit against the Georgia Revenue Service Department or whatever for the state or some shit. I think, don't quote me on that, but or he like won part of it or something. I don't know. But the fact that he won it all, like it's like I can't imagine that that's an easy feat for a suspect to do. So it had to have been pretty bad for them to win, you know? At least I think. I don't know. But okay, on that note, I'm going to get going. It's getting late and I'm getting tired. I have tomorrow off. I'm going to an event tomorrow night and I'd love to tell you all exactly what it is I'm going to, but it's not exactly... I mean, it's not bad. It's not illegal. It's not shady or anything like that. But it's not exactly politically correct. So I'm not going to. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. And I will definitely be streaming tomorrow. Bye, guys. Nice.